When you come to a show like Dscoop, one of the things is, of course, all the people that you meet. It's also about the technology, but it's also the learning experience you get. And I got the opportunity to talk to Brian Cleary, who is the category manager for HP Indigo label segment. And I'm very curious to talk to you, Brian. So welcome to INKISH here.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
If I take a bold view from a helicopter perspective and look at the industry, labels and flexible, that's been for ages been analog and flexography, right?
Yes. Well, labels has been digital for longer than FlexPack, but definitely digital is becoming more and more prevalent in labels. It's a more mature market for digital, and we're already seeing most of the high value jobs, that is short run, high value, top quality, prime labels and specialty labels moving to digital.
And is it because it's just easier, better, or is it also because it makes sense from a financial perspective?
Yes, yes, and yes. It is easier, the jobs flow easier through the shop with less touches, and with digital you can actually process and do more jobs with automation, and you know the labor market in the label business is really tight, so digital makes it easier to automate, reduce the number of touches, which makes it more profitable, and the quality on Indigo is better than Flexo, I'll say it.
Okay, you said it.
Yes.
When I look at digital, more like in general terms, I mean, there's a lot of people talking in all the other areas that you cover is the thing that everything that can go digital will go digital, right? And we already now talked about that the quality is maybe better, but I think that one of the challenges some converters and PSPs have seen going to digital is often that either you have some click-based, so it's a linear pricing that makes long runs not so attractive. How do you see, is there any changes in how you calculate your prices from that perspective?
No, Indigo has a unique pricing model in that all the consumables are covered under a click charge. So the advantages of that are you know your costs up front. So as long as you estimate a job properly, even without seeing the artwork, okay, because coverage doesn't matter at that point, because you're not buying the ink per liter, you know your costs, you can control your margins, and you can make sure you make money on every job. And that's the unique advantage Indigo has. But overall with digital, because the margins are still pretty good in the label business, you can still make money.
And you just one of the pain points of going to inkjet, right?
Yes, well, the other vendors who offer inkjet don't necessarily have the scale that we have to implement a click charge type based program. So they charge for all the consumables separately, including ink, on a per liter basis, and it makes it more difficult to estimate a job and control your margins.
In the commercial print space where I come from, digital has always been seen as an initiator to having the variable data. Is that also something that is a trend within the digital labels?
For sure. When you have digital labels, quantities don't matter. So whether it's a quantity of 10, 100, or even 1, mass customization is a trend in the marketplace where each label is a little different or a lot different, multiple SKUs. So yeah, the variable data is a big part of it, and it also speaks to brand security, which is going to be a much bigger business than it is currently.
So, I mean, it sounds like, of course, that there's no doubt in your mind that the Indigo in the label market is tremendously important and a valuable investment, right?
Well, Indigo specifically has led the charge in digital labels from the very beginning, and we still outsell all of the other digital vendors combined on a quarterly basis, and we're very proud of that. And, the market speaks to trusting Indigo as a partner, trusting HP, trusting our people on our team. So yeah, we're really excited.
If I say goosebumps, what comes to mind?
Oh, goosebumps, the new Indigo V12. I got a chance to demonstrate it here at Dscoop yesterday from the labs in Israel, but I was there before all the travel restrictions and everything. I saw an Indigo running at 400 feet a minute, and the hair stood up on my arms. I got goosebumps because when I started with Indigo, we were running at 50 feet a minute.
And the reason why I was asking also because I think that is also a challenge when somebody's questioning whether digital is interesting is obviously the speed, right?
Well, speed is one thing, but we've seen recent studies, and we've surveyed. We've contracted for surveys of converters around North America. Speed does not translate to square meters printed, and speed does not necessarily relate to overall profitability or the overall value of the labels. So, speed is a factor when considering, but it isn't the end-all, be-all.
Final question, I'm just a little bit curious, and maybe the answer is long, but it's okay. A little bit about technology. when I saw the V12 in your V12 lab in Israel just a few months ago, I've been there after you've been there, right?
Yes.
I think that the V12 engine is a dramatically changed from the 6K and 8K because now you have more drums, you have more blankets, you have more colors, and you have. Can you explain a little bit because it is a big change for HP as well, right?
It is, but it isn't. When we set out to design the V12, we set out to have all the flexibility of our current 6K press and all the versatility and the quality, everything there. The processing speed of the V12, in other words, how quickly we can write an image and get ink onto a plate or a drum, has not changed that much. The thing is, we've split, instead of having one plate and one blanket, we've split that out to have 6 writing heads, a blanket belt, and multiple bids, or what you might think of as form rollers or ink rollers, right? So by splitting that out, using the same processing speed, we can just process faster and go to 400 feet. But the core technology is still LEP. We call it LEPX.
I know that, but I was actually thinking of it from a positive perspective because it gives you the speed advantage, but it also gives you the ability to actually add more colors to the same print run, right?
That's exactly right. So we're going from 7 colors to 12 colors, and with having the widest specialty colors in the industry, that's important because now you don't have to swap colors in and out. You can have your 12 most popular colors and on demand.
Is there any date set for when the V12 is available?
I do know, and we're currently in alpha testing. If that gives you, we have to go through the alpha, get into beta, and then release.
I take that you are really excited about that, right?
I can't wait. I mean, it's going to change the market. It's going to show that our LEP technology has grown again. And for the first time, this is what's really important, is we're bringing a new series of print engine, our Series 6 print engine, to labels first.
Fantastic.
Every other time we've brought a new series of print engine, it's gone onto the commercial sheet fed side first. This time it's labels, showing our commitment to the label industry and how important the labels business is to HP Indigo.
Fantastic. Brian, it was fun. Thank you.
Thank you.